chairperson for the occasion, Chief of Staff of the Presidency, Minister for Business Development, Minister for Trade and Industry, Ministers of State, Deputy Ministers of State, Members of Parliament, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovations Plan, members of the Diplomatic Corps, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy to be here today to launch this landmark initiative that is targeted at accelerating the process of job creation and national development. Establishing a strong economy and will be judged by the capacity of the economy under my watch to provide opportunities and inspire people to start new businesses and encourage new businesses to invest, grow, and expand. In effect, jobs, jobs, jobs. This has to be my credo. Ladies and gentlemen, the goal of my government is to build the most business-friendly economy in Africa and create jobs and prosperity for all Ghanaians. To achieve this, we need to establish the relevant policy framework that will help businesses to expand and create jobs. And we must promote the growth and development of entrepreneurship. And this we must do keeping firmly in our minds the needs of our young people in particular. During the past 20 years, rapid economic strides have been the ones that have encouraged high levels of investment in entrepreneur development. The growth of a more entrepreneurial economy has led to the creation of jobs and the acceleration of economic growth. We can learn a lot from this global trend to develop an entrepreneurial economy and create a conducive and business-friendly environment in our country. It should really be a difficult thing for us to do, because it might not look like it these days, with everybody seeming to be looking for jobs in government. But I dare say the wealth of this nation was built on the private sector and the entrepreneurial spirit of our people. Time was when the good money was made by the private sector and the risk takers, and not by public officials. We need to get back to those times. Ghanaians are renowned for their sense of enterprise, creativity, and innovation. And the moment has come to reinvigorate that culture. In the past 6 months, government has set about putting in place the measures needed to reduce the cost of doing business and improve the business environment. We have begun to act on the fundamentals. We're stabilizing the macroeconomy and the CD. Inflation has gone down from 15.4% in December 2016 to 12.1% in July 2017. The bill rate was 22.8% in January and has narrowed to 11.9% in June 2017. Locally. and have reintroduced the 3% flat VAT rate for traders. I know that some traders are having problems with the reintroduction of the 3% flat VAT rate, but I'm confident that as time goes by, the objectives of the policy will be better appreciated and embraced. All these measures are being undertaken to stimulate enterprise activity and growth. Very soon, we shall reap the benefits of more jobs and an expanding economy. Ladies and gentlemen, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, make up over 90% of businesses worldwide and account for the majority of private sector activity in both advanced and emerging market economies. Ours is predominantly an SME economy, and the economic growth and development of our country depend on how well we nurture and support startups and the micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises to enhance their contribution to GDP, job creation, and exports. Micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises contribute about 70% of Ghana's GDP and account for more than 92% of enterprises. An overwhelming majority, estimated at 90% of businesses, employ less than 20 people, and there are relatively few enterprises in our country that qualify as large-scale enterprises. It is obvious, therefore, that we have to focus on the development of startups and small businesses by encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit as a national priority. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest problem of our country is widespread unemployment and lack of jobs. Every year, more young people join in the dispiriting search for jobs. I've come to face with the desperation that is engendered by the lack of jobs. I've spoken about it often. I've even come to accept that it is this lack of jobs that has led to the phenomenon of so many people looking to government for jobs, which appears to be dampening our traditional entrepreneurial spirit. The fact that unemployment is a worldwide phenomenon does not make our national and personal situation any easier to endure. It does not lessen the heartbreak of parents who watch their children go through the frustration of joblessness year after dispiriting year. In 2015, some 4,500 young Ghanaians arrived in Italy after undertaking the horrendous Mediterranean crossing that we all see on television. I'm determined that we change the economic conditions in our country for the better to ensure that young people see it as a place of opportunities instead of the place from which they flee at the peril of their lives. We need to do all within our power to create an entrepreneurial climate to enable our young people come up with creative ideas that can be developed into businesses. Let me therefore, ladies and gentlemen, introduce you all to the National Entrepreneurship and Innovations Plan. This is the flagship initiative which will be the primary vehicle for providing an integrated national support for startups and small businesses. The plan will enable new businesses to emerge and give them the space to grow, to receive financing and business development services, to secure markets during the critical formative years, and to tap into a wide supply chain and network during their growth years, helping to create jobs at a widely distributed national level. Despite the severe constraints of our public finances, which have resulted from years of mismanagement and corruption, Government has contributed $10 million United States dollars as seed money for the plan. It is the intention that this seed money should be leveraged to raise money from private sources and public organizations to the tune of $100 million United States dollars to fund its program. Ladies and gentlemen, the overall objective of this plan is to stimulate private sector growth at the early stages of businesses, to accelerate job creation, and to provide entrepreneurial Ghanaian youth with a critical alternative to salaried employment. It will help their businesses to grow and compete domestically and internationally. The National Entrepreneurship and Innovations Plan will, amongst others, 1, provide tax incentives for startups owned by young entrepreneurs. 2, incentivize and partner private sector investors to set up business incubator hubs and industrial parks for youth-owned businesses nationally. 3, establish a youth enterprise fund which will be leveraged to attract private capital to fund startups. 4, provide a ready market for the products and services of startups through the reservation of a percentage of the proposed 70% of local content public procurement contracts. 5, implement a buy local policy for ICT services from youth-owned businesses. And 6thly, set up an industrial subcontracting exchange to link large industries with small businesses and startups as a supply chain for goods and services. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that this plan will be made to work to provide young people with what it promises. Young people who take the risk of entrepreneurship will find that they have support through the difficult early stages. I'm passionate about the plan working. I'm investing a lot in it, and I have confidence in the Minister for Business Development, Ibrahim Awal Mohammed, who has devised the plan and will be in charge of seeing it to fruition. It is now my pleasant duty to declare the National Entrepreneurship and Innovations Plan duly launched. Let me end by congratulating
So that's it for today's bulletin of news desk. Today we took you to the Alisa Hotel where the president addressed an entrepreneurship summit. And thanks for joining us. My name is Daniel Dazi. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Stay tuned to Joy News.